All right, I bet many of you didn't know this, that many of the musicians and street performers you see in downtown Savannah, they had to audition to be out there.
I didn't know it, did you?
No, not at all.
This is interesting. Well, the city lets street performers and those palm vendors ask for donations if they have a permit. WJCL's Rob Macco working for you tonight to explain the difference between soliciting donations and panhandling.
Where's that baby?
Gail Tropiano makes palm roses on River Street. She collects donations for her craft, but don't call her a panhandler. She's one of 15 palm vendors legally allowed to collect donations in Savannah.
It's a little bit hard during the winter months if you don't save up, but you can make a very decent living doing this.
Palm vendors, musicians, artists, and other street performers have to get a free permit from the city to collect money. But first, they have to audition. Auditions are held Wednesday mornings at the Citizen Office.
Wanna see some old friends.
Artists, crafters, and performers must also pass a background check and abide by a dress code. They have to stay in certain areas like River Street, Forsyth Park, and selected squares. They can only perform between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays through Wednesdays and until 10 p.m. Thursdays through Saturdays. Savannah changed its street performer policy in 2012. Officer Anthony Hood is a code enforcement supervisor.
We had so many palm vendors, so we had to curtail that because it was creating problems with tourists.
The change in policy was meant to cut down on panhandling.
I think the changes have worked due to the fact that we don't get the complaints, as many complaints as usual.
A common misconception is that the people making palm roses or playing music in the streets of Savannah are homeless. In fact, in most cases, that's not true. None of these musicians renewing their street performer permits are homeless. Alan Semenovich retired from law enforcement in New York State and now lives in Savannah.
Does that bother you if people think you're just
No, it does. You know, having worked law enforcement, there's not too much that bothers me anymore.
Tropiano says she used to be homeless but has lived in a 2-bedroom apartment for the past 4 years.
Sometimes it bothers me, sometimes it's a benefit because they'll give me actually more money.
There's going to be a few people out there that are taking advantage, shouldn't be doing what they're doing, but like I said, most of the guys I've met are fine musicians too, not just and not homeless, working guys.
Many think the policy change cut down on panhandling, but Herb Smith, program director at the Chatham-Savannah Homeless Authority, doesn't think so.
I think it's went up, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because we see more and more people. You have people that come in town that have been panhandling in other towns. So they come here because Savannah's like a mecca for all this stuff.
He says it just moved to other locations.
You can go to Forsyth Park now, you see more panhandling than you do on River Street. Certain times a day.
So remember, panhandling is illegal, but you won't get in trouble if you give someone a couple of bucks. But these folks with permits have the city's permission to legally take money in exchange for their talents. Rob Macco, WJCL News, working for you.
Well, artists and performers without permits can be fined. Aggressive panhandlers can be removed from the area and brought before a judge.
Wow.
I know, who knew?
Now you know.
Absolutely. It's